write a short note on burden of proof and onus of proof. The burden of proof means the duty of a person to prove the facts that he asserts before the court. It is the fundamental principle of evidence law that the person who makes an allegation or claims a right must prove it. The burden of proof determines which party has the responsibility of proving a particular fact. The burden of proof is generally of two kinds. First, burden of proof arising from pleadings. Second, onus of proof or burden of adducing evidence. Burden of proof arising from pleadings. This burden arises from the facts asserted or denied by the parties in their pleadings. It is determined by substantive law and remains fixed throughout the case. The burden never shifts from one party to another. For example, suppose A files a suit against W, the widow of B, claiming ownership of B's property on the ground that he is the adopted son of B. W denies the adoption. In this case, A wants the court to give judgment in his favor based on the fact of adoption. Therefore, A has the burden of proving that he was legally adopted by B. Thus, the burden lies upon the person who asserts a fact. Onus of proof. Onus probandi. Onus of proof means the duty of producing evidence before the court. It refers to the responsibility of leading evidence to establish a case. Unlike the burden of proof, the onus of proof is not constant and may shift from one party to another during the proceedings. For example, A files a suit against B on the basis of a bond. B admits that he executed the bond but claims that it was obtained by fraud. Since execution of bond is admitted, if B produces no evidence regarding fraud, A will succeed in the suit. Therefore, B must first produce evidence to prove fraud. After B produces evidence, A may produce evidence to disprove B's claim. Thus, the onus may move from one side to another depending upon the circumstances of the case. The burden of proof remains constant, while onus of proof keeps shifting during the trial. Initially, the plaintiff must establish a prima facie case. Once he does so, the burden of producing evidence shifts to the defendant. As the case progresses, the onus may again shift back to the plaintiff. In S.J. Ebenezer versus Velaya Dhan, the Supreme Court held that where a landlord seeks eviction on the ground of genuine need, the burden of proving such genuine requirement lies on the landlord. Thus, burden of proof and onus of proof are important principles of evidence law because they help the court decide which party is responsible for proving facts and producing evidence for a fair decision.